Can I please, for the love of all that is holy and good, finally get to this video? Hello, yes, hello. I'm once again back at it again with making videos, and you all might notice that I sound perhaps a little bit different compared to what I sounded like in the 2022 compilation for the New Year's, and well, that would be because that was the last recording I ever did with my old microphone. Yes, rest in peace to my old microphone. It served its purpose for a good long while. I got a lot of mileage out of it, but it unfortunately started breaking down. I'll get into that later, and well, I had to spend some time looking for a new microphone. But yeah, it's been a while since I last did this kind of ramble. I think the last time I might have done it was with Frontier? No, wait, it was Magnamalo. Okay, it was the Magnamalo demo where I last did a video like this. Okay, so it's been like a good 2 years since I last did this kind of thing. And I'm not really sure what the title of this video is, because it'll probably be focusing on going over what my thoughts are on the year of 2022 in retrospective, because that whole spiel was too long for the highlights video. I will be going over some of the technical issues I've been running into at the beginning of this year, and as well as what to look forward to for the year, some of my plans, and all of that. So first, let's address what this video was originally meant for, all the way back in the 2022 compilation. At the beginning of the video, I stated that this was a redo attempt because the original version I had for the video stretched on perhaps a little bit too much and lengthened the video to a degree that I did not want, considering it was already a pretty lengthy video as is. So I decided to scrap it. Well, I decided to scrap it because of that, but also because, in regards to the overall mood and what I was saying, I feel like it didn't exactly match up with what I wanted to have as my end-of-year thoughts, considering that some things had changed in recent memory. So I figured putting that off for another video would allow me to tackle it more in depth and not lengthen the production of a video that is nearly 40 minutes long, almost 50. So here I am talking about it in this case, and in regards to 2022, it was a good year. As I said in the compilation, overall it was a good year statistically. I got to 3,000 subscribers at long last. I produced a good amount of highlights. Sunbreak came out, and yeah, it was a good year overall in terms of views and attention, and I even uploaded some of my all-time highest rated videos during the year and got more reception and publicity than any other video I'd ever produced. Even the Blaze Blue Story Explained series, which is my all-time highest viewed series, the first episode only reached 73,000 views over the course of, according to YouTube, 4 years. And that's probably what shot it over the 3,000 sub mark that I have been striving for all this time. That said, there was a reason why I said there was a little bit of a downer note in my thoughts on the year in the original version, and that's because I personally felt a little bit disappointed with my accomplishments that year. I mean, sure, I produced some of my highest viewed videos of all time, but content-wise speaking, these were videos I was proud of, especially these Sunbreak highlight videos. I have produced and put more effort into even a single one of these episodes more than any other highlight video I have made before. It is kind of insane how long I spent on all of these videos collectively, but it took a while. These videos definitely took a while, and I think instead of being unimpressed or dissatisfied about the production quality, I was more so dissatisfied with the fact that so much of this year, of that year, was dedicated towards highlights, and a large majority of it was Monster Hunter. And look, I enjoy Monster Hunter as a franchise. It is my favorite franchise of all time. It is where a large portion of my viewer base comes from, and it is one of the main content forms I produce on the channel. That said, I do wish sometimes that I wasn't focusing on it so much. Because there's only so much a single person can take of a single series, much less doing content on that series, without feeling a little bit exhausted. And all of last year, I had that feeling surrounding me where I wanted to do more. I wanted to do more editorials. I wanted to do more countdowns. I wanted to talk about other games like Elden Ring. Oh, Elden Ring especially. I would have loved to do a countdown or series on that game. But things got in the way, and a whole bunch of shit happened last year, which also did not help my overall mood. And I made numerous community posts about this situation, so I'll try to skim through it as much as I could. But in a nutshell, at the beginning of last year, renovations were going on around the house that puts the station I use to record and live stream videos in jeopardy. It essentially knocked out my main form of production because we were working on a pretty big project. So yeah, it was lengthy, it took a lot of time and money as well. There was a multi-step process. It knocked out any live streams for the foreseeable future until everything was back the way it was. It knocked out my plans to work on the Blasphemous videos, which I had scripted at that point and were ready to go, but had to be further delayed because I couldn't actually get to it. Same goes with the Elemental Monster video. All of those videos, in terms of their scripts, were finished and ready to go, or at the very least were in production and close to being finished in the midst or before that happened, which really put a damper on my overall work ethic and flow. And by the time renovations were over, by the time I finally got my new workstation, one that I could work at, edit, and live stream more frequently and better than the old one, it was already pretty close to Sunbreak's release. And things were going on at the time still, especially one thing which it's a bit personal, it is extremely personal, and I am not going to disclose that information here, but let's just say it was a big change for all of us, combined with this renovation. And then yeah, Sunbreak came out, which threw off a lot of my plans to work on the other videos, because I had to all of a sudden change gears to not only doing the live stream and setting aside time for that, but also with editing and trimming down all of those hours and compiling them together. And I know it might seem easy to make highlights to some people. It might seem pretty easy. You just cut down on moments, you put some funny edits over, some pictures, some text, all of that, and bam, you're done. And sure, that would be the low effort version, but I don't want to do low effort. I want to make these videos the best I can. And by the time I was all done with the compilations, by the time I wasn't just done with the base game, but also each title update that came out afterwards, it was already near the end of the year. It was October, November, December, there were holidays going on, hanging out with the family, events, all of that, and right as soon as I thought I was done working on highlights, I immediately had to U-turn into the 2022 highlights, which, like the others, I am proud of, but again, it's a lot to work on, and there are so many highlights I had to work on in that last half or quarter of the year that it really dampened and put a negative spin on my mood. And yeah, that wasn't helped by exhaustion with, not gonna lie, the situation I was in for 2 years by this point. I'm going to disclose a little bit of self-information right now, but I had been out of school for 2 years at that point. COVID hit around the time of my graduation and screwed up everything regarding that. It screwed up the world as a whole, as we all know. And with graduation happening, my family and I thought it was all a good idea to probably wait before doing anything. Take a gap year or two, see what I want to do, and what direction I want to take my life in next, jobs, all of that. And for the first year or so, for 2020 itself and 21 arguably, it was fine. I was more than content with having that time off and not having to worry about going to school, which I could then dedicate towards live streaming and Iceborne and making all these videos. It was fine for the most part, but later on, 21 into 22 especially, I started to feel a little bit of exhaustion. Things started to feel the same around here. And eventually, I sort of subconsciously started comparing myself to other people, and those I knew, people in my family and friends as well, and I started to shit on myself, honestly. I was looking at how much these people were accomplishing with their lives, that they were getting jobs, or they were doing school, they were having big changes go on and moving on with their lives. Well, I felt like I was stuck, essentially. I didn't have a job to call my own, I didn't have school to go to, I didn't have anything to go to, which especially sucked because I did not have a driver's license or permit. So I was basically stuck at the house for most of my time in 2020, 21, and 22. But there was a reason why I scrapped that in the compilation. Outside of course, the time length of the video, there was also the thing that, while I had originally recorded it, events had happened after recording it and in the production of that video that made me rethink about my words and actually discard it. Because, well, things improved. Since about January 18th of this year, I have finally gone back into school. I've decided to stop lazing about and actually move forward with my life, and even if I'm not completely sure on where to go next or what I want to do in terms of job or my life, it's a little step. I'm going to do the necessary courses and some side content, and then decide in the midst of all this what I want to do. And not gonna lie, as much as we all dunk on school and wish we couldn't go there, it does actually make your life and daily schedule feel like you're doing something. And besides that, I had also, towards the end of 2022, gotten my driver's permit. So I am working back up to getting my license, driving more often, and having that sense of independence and not being a bother to other people if I want to go somewhere. And eventually, later this year, I want to plan on getting a job on the sideline. Probably not soon at the moment, because of school and all that, but definitely sometime this year, because as much as I enjoy YouTube or Twitch, it does not pay well at all. It's very slow and takes a lot of time, and the money you earn per viewership, it's like $1 every 1,000 views, is bullshit. And that's not even concerning the copyright and how your monetization can just be taken away from any video. So yeah, that's why I decided to scrap the whole opening draft. I mean, once again, I still feel a little bit disappointment for 2022, but I've accepted the fact that there wasn't a whole lot I could do, and I had to deal with it, among other things. I shouldn't be so hard on myself with those just unavoidable facts of life that you cannot influence or change, that you just have to deal with it. It can feel shitty, yes, trying to deal with it, but you have to try to not be so hard on yourself, honestly. And so going forward into 2023, I'd like to do my best. I'd like to try my best going forward. I'd like to do more schoolwork. I'd like to get a job. on the side at some point, earn more money, and I'd like to do more for the overall channel. I'd like to theoretically make more videos for the year, but even if it's not a whole lot of videos, I'd like to make the best videos I can. I want to make the best highlights I can. I want to make more countdowns. I want to make more editorials. I want to make more. And hopefully, I can accomplish that. But anyway, that's enough sappiness. Time to move on to other things, like my plans for 2023, and some even more troubles I got in along the way. It never stops. So, earlier at the beginning of the video, I said something along the lines of, can I finally get this video done? Why was that? Well, as I said, I was originally planning the spiel for a separate video after the release of the 2022 highlights, and I was planning on getting this video out way sooner. But as I mentioned earlier, my damn microphone broke. After almost 4 or 5 years of hard work and effort, it finally started to show signs of wear and tear. Basically, the mic was not showing up under audio settings or mic settings. It did not show up as a Blue Yeti microphone, no. It was instead showing up as USB Advanced Audio. So I decided to Google search it and find out what it means, as well as ask a good friend. The friend, Ryan, basically said that it's happened to a couple of his mics in the past, and that essentially means that your mic is starting to break. And according to the internet, when it's displayed as a USB Advanced Audio device, it is not synced up to the actual microphone, and it results in a decrease in quality, however slight, and so I ended up not using it because I didn't want to risk a live stream or recording on finicky audio quality that would not be up to snuff, that wouldn't be my best, so to speak. Much less if it decide during recording to just break down further or just stop working. So I had to put off all recordings and live streamings until I got a new microphone, and my god, this microphone took a while to come in. It kept getting rescheduled over and over again. There was a snowstorm that came in that probably further delayed it, and I had to wait like a week or so after scheduling it to get it here, but it's finally here now, and it sounds good to me. I can finally do recordings and live streamings, so that's been fixed. But as it so turns out, life is a cruel mistress, and there can't just be one thing going wrong at a single time. No, there has to be multiple things. And that's because, oh boy, it's time to get into it. I've already mentioned in the community post recently, but my Switch also had to break. I cannot play it or use it in handheld mode, and I cannot play it in console mode because it will not transmit that data to the dock or monitor. So, until I get this whole issue sorted, until I either buy a new Switch or send it in for repairs, all Sunbreak content for the foreseeable future, all Nintendo Switch content, and every game that I might have had on it, which is including, but not limited to, Astral Chain, Hades, Sunbreak, Rise, and Generations Ultimate, Stories 2, and so many others are permanently off the table. I cannot play any of them or record any of them. Which is a big problem when one of those games, Hades, was a game I was planning on making a video on. And it's made even worse by the fact that at the moment, we're kind of in a tight situation for money. So it might take a little bit for the Switch to be sent in and repaired, depending on how much that might cost, and also not even considering if they will even be able to fix it. So yeah, that's great. So what are some actual videos you can expect to look forward to? Well, first off, I've had a few scripted videos that are in the midst of production that are either put on hold or I could probably get out soon. I was originally planning on making a Devil May Cry video, or a couple of videos, for the month of March, but considering that it's already this close to March, and I am having school to work alongside it, probably not gonna be March. I'm probably gonna delay the video/videos to further later this year at some point. So whenever that comes out, whenever I give news of that, look forward to it, because I will be covering a wide range of topics probably. I have 2 scripted Monster Hunter videos, which do not require anything new from Rise, so I'm good in terms of that. One which is an editorial scripted looking at the Monster Hunter monsters as characters or entities with personality, and how the games create that personality through aspects like animation, design, music, and all of that. And another video on Fatalis, specifically his Iceborne incarnation. This is not a time jump, but this is a video talking about Fatalis as the perfect conclusion to Iceborne. So those are 2 videos I'll have to work on. Their scripts are about finished, I just need to look over them, get them revised, and then voice record and edit those. So those will probably be the 2 newest Monster Hunter scripted videos I put out in the near future. Other than that, I have 2 videos actually already uploaded as highlights. And how to say this? It is a game you are probably not expecting for me to put out on the channel. I'll just say it. They are Genshin Impact highlights. Now, hold up. Before you aim your pitchforks, shotguns, and torches at me, allow me to make things clear. The session this all comes from was the last bit of voice recording I did with the old microphone prior to it breaking. And yes, I know it's been a while since I last talked about Genshin Impact on the channel, considering that was a good 2 years ago, and I said some scathing things about it. But since then, I have actually been playing it on the back burner. I have been taking my time going through it and playing through the new content, the areas, the story, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm having fun with it. I've actually been having fun with the game, the exploration, the characters. Hell, this recent Archon quest involving Sumeru and the lore involving that, and the main story as a whole, is actually really good. And the highlights involve me, as well as several other people, particularly Draven, Lynn, and one other person, who you might recognize but has not appeared on the channel for quite a while. And at the behest of Draven wanting to settle us all down for a session, since it was the last day Windtrace was available, we decided to all hang out together, and I eventually thought that mid-session, this would probably make good content for a highlight or 2, so I recorded it, and the rest is history. So, these will be coming out very shortly. The first highlight will probably be released after this releases, and then the second highlight shortly afterwards. And yeah, I'm going to say right now, don't expect this to become mainstay content. But depending on reception, on how many views it gets, and also what your guys' thoughts are on the video, and if you would like to see more of it in the future of us doing limited time events or even just playing the game and other activities within, then I might very well consider doing Genshin Impact videos as a side content thing for the channel and expanding my viewer base over to that community of people. And outside of Genshin Impact, the other game I can confirm will be having videos on for the channel is Wild Hearts. And yes, I know it will seem like I am hopping onto the bandwagon with a ton of other monster content creators and abandoning Sunbreak, but like, if you actually think that, lay off me for a second, chill the fuck out. Quite frankly, I've been wanting to see how this game performs, and I've been playing a little bit of that off camera just to see how it all runs, because yes, the game has performance issues, and I've been wanting to see if it performs well on my current computer, and if I'll be able to make videos out of it. So far, I'm about 3 hours into the game, and I have positive impressions so far, So, the first video you could expect to see from me out of Wild Hearts is an impression video covering my 3 hours of playtime so far, what I think of the monsters, the combats, and also if it is worth getting if you are a fan of Monster Hunter or even if you aren't a fan of Monster Hunter. I'll be covering all of that in the impressions video, and that'll be the first thing I do. So yeah, those are my plans for 2023. That is the content you can look forward to in the coming days, months, and year. And that is a look at how the situation is for me and what I am or am not able to do. I know this video was probably a lot because it's been 50 fucking minutes in terms of recording. Holy shit, this is probably my longest ramble ever. So I'm really hoping this was perhaps interesting, that you all understand what is going on with the channel, and even if it is not what you are looking forward to, even if it's not what you're here for, that you can still enjoy it. I don't want to be known as just that one Monster Hunter guy that does highlights and rambles. I don't want to be known for one thing, because I feel like that would be the death of me, both in terms of interest as well as the death of my channel. It's going to limit a lot of the viewer base I could attract, and I feel like expanding to new horizons and covering other game franchises and other topics will do more good than bad, even if it might be slow at the moment. But yeah, that'll be all for this ramble. I am not going to drag it on for any longer. My voice is dying, and I want to hear what your guys' thoughts in the comment section are down below. What are your thoughts on the videos I will be making very shortly? What are your thoughts on the channel as a whole? What should I make more? If you have any suggestions for games I could cover, videos I could make, live streams, anything like that, do let me know. And I look forward to reading your guys' comments and responding to them. I hope to see you guys in the next one. And until then, I have been the Monarch of Dragons, and I hope you all have a fantastic day/night, wherever you live. Peace, and coolest faults.